I'm sure people can't guess what we're doing today. Welcome to the first proper episode of Cabincast. Yes, Jack, it is the first proper episode for reasons we have previously discussed, and we'll discuss again later. So, yes, we're missing Tom today. He has to house sit, basically, because his family's away. But my name is Oliver.
My name is Jack.
And I am Jamie.
Yeah.
And we are your hosts today on Cabincast. It is the 11th of November 2018 today, so it's the 100th year anniversary since the end of World War One. And as such, there are numerous even things happening across the globe. One of them being a collaboration between Peter Jackson, this is our link to our podcast here, Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and soon to be Mortal Engines, which I'm looking forward to, has basically the Imperial War Museum in London came to him with all this old footage, like some of the only footage we have from the war, was like, hey, do you reckon you could make this look more real? Because obviously it is real, but it's in black and white, it's sped up, there's no sound. And what they've done is slowed it down, they've painstakingly made it all the right colours and everything, and tried to put the sound in, and made it into like a film thing. I'm not sure entirely how long it is, but it's called They Shall Not Grow Old, and it is on tonight at 9:30 on BBC Two. By the time this comes out,
I don't think that's going to be relevant.
it would have long gone.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting fact. So lots of people have put money towards it, invested into it. Peter Jackson himself apparently didn't ask for any money to do it, because he's from New Zealand, so he lost some family in the First World War as well, like most people. So
like everyone.
exactly. I mean, we did, but we don't remember them because it's like our great grandparents or whatever.
Oh yeah, because they're old.
No, as in, so like we technically in our family lost
we wouldn't
people,
have known
but we
them.
wouldn't have known
Yeah,
them. Exactly,
so-
that's what I meant.
yeah,
So it's
that's-
more personal than for us. But yeah, so that's pretty cool.
In fact, no. If they died in the First World War, then there's only like a very small amount of people that actually know people, right?
Yes.
They would have talked about, like, if the parents of... Alright, never mind, I get it.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Be like the like grandparents would know them, and maybe parents
Very
would
old
know
parents.
someone. Yeah, very old, like my parents. Oh god. No,
Sorry,
actually
Jack's
no,
parents.
because they wouldn't have been born before World War One. So it'd have only been like grandparents that actually knew people, and it'd be their parents and people,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think we probably just sounded really stupid, but
Yeah, no, it's it's our great grandparents,
Yes.
basically. But only our grandparents would have known them because, unless,
and they'd have been quite young at the time anyway. So,
yeah.
but yes, so that's interesting. Mortal Engines as well. That
Oh,
looks
that
exciting.
looks amazing.
I'm very excited for that.
Speed is key. I love that. Okay, alright. Anyway,
We're now going.
breaking news. Sorry, coming in with that. Alright. On to Jamie.
Yes, Jamie with our gaming news for the week.
I wasn't. You caught me really off guard there. I was in my own little world. Recently, by the makers Undertale, Toby Scott released a
Toby
new
Fox.
that even is released a new game called Deltarune, which I believe it's not a sequel to Undertale, but it's quite similar.
It's unsure at this
No,
point.
I've
Unsure.
seen some gameplay of it. It's set in the same world.
It seems to be set in the same
Oh,
world,
right.
It has
but
some of the same characters.
whether it's a sequel or prequel, we don't know.
I mean, it must have some sort of connection because the literal name Deltarune is an anagram
It
of
is.
Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I believe it's a free game that you can.
It's free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. You have
It's-
to go onto the Deltarune website for
Yes.
a download, which isn't Deltarune.
Yes, it's called like System C something, and then you click it and it's like, you accept everything which happens after this point. It's like I accept, but it is just a
basically
game. It
signing
seems
a
really
contract.
sketchy, but yeah,
But I guess that is kind of his style.
it is his style certainly.
And
It's not
everyone's-
it's not a full game. I've played it, so I won't give any spoilers, but it is fun. It's
Wait, how long have you played it for?
4 hours,
No,
maybe
never mind. Yeah,
5 hours.
no,
It's
I-
shorter than Undertale, but it's not the full game.
No, I think
It has
it's an early release.
it has a conclusion,
Oh, it does.
but it's like inverted commas conclusion, part of a larger story.
Right.
So it's like a finished game, but it's not the entire game, if that
So
makes
it's like
sense.
part 1 of the.
Yeah, it's chapter 1.
Okay.
I think it's the idea of it. So
But as someone who knows pretty much everything about Undertale but has never played the game, because I had no access to Steam at the time of its release, I recommend you go and play Deltarune if you haven't yet, before you get spoiled.
Yes,
100%.
Yes, I agree. Unless you're watching a walkthrough, because sometimes I find that more enjoyable.
yeah, that's what I did with Undertale. I think I saw
Yeah.
walkthroughs and that. I did play it still, but
I had a friend pretty much show me the entire game, every song, every character, every ending.
With his Stephen or.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
Steven.
the fabled Stephen.
We also had Sans at our college, which was great.
At what college, sorry?
Sans.
Did we?
There was someone who literally was wearing, I don't know if it was intentional, he had black
Jack,
shorts.
You've got the table right next to you for this exact reason.
He was wearing black shorts, a blue and white fluffy hoodie, and pink slippers.
I do actually remember this
I
now.
remember this.
Now that you point this out,
Whether I assume it was intentional, I'm not sure though.
I
The character
vaguely, yeah.
was based off him. God.
Yeah. So that's our gaming news. Thank you very much, Jamie.
I have no other news as I tried.
Um.
I really don't know.
Spyro news coming next week though.
Yes. We have Spyro news next week.
Hopefully I will actually have some gameplay to talk about. I do plan on getting it, whether I'd get it next week or not. I have not yet decided.
I'm considering getting it as well, but I have just bought a new chair, which is not cheap. So I might wait off of it a little bit first, but we will see. Yeah, anything I can add to Deltarune? The combat's slightly different, but it's still overall the same style. It's still a bullet hell, and with the whole acting thing, it's just expanded on what it was before, really. The comedy is the same. The animation style and everything is better, but it is within the same.
That's good though, because
Theme.
Undertale had its own unique charm to it.
Yeah,
which I
it's
think is
still
why
it's
so
still
popular.
it's still got the unique charm to it. It's a bit prettier. I would say. The music's still great.
I don't know though. Some of the, I mean, you see games now with very good graphics. Like I've been playing Forza Horizon 4 recently, and that game looks absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Driving around in what's represent there. This is where my English shows. The representation of England, but some experiences I've had with previous games, like older games, where it's more there's more sprite art rather than 3D graphics. Sometimes you can still have beautiful games.
Oh, 100%.
It doesn't have, just because you haven't got 3D models and it's 1080p or even like 2K now, you can still have a perfectly beautiful looking game through just well choreographed artwork.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of the shots in Undertale, I don't when you first see the castle with the umbrellas or the sunset shot. The sunset shot at the end are really pretty as well. So 100%, definitely can have pretty shots. But yeah, no, it's like when I said it's prettier. Like they've just I think put more time into how it looks, but it is still definitely the same aesthetic and everything. So it's pretty good. So, if people didn't guess from our opening theme thing of what we are doing this week, we are looking at the very first Marvel film, which kicked off the MCU back in 2008, I want to say.
You're forgetting the original MCU movie, Incredible Hulk.
No, The Incredible Hulk was after Iron Man. Yes, it was.
In my heart, it was before.
It was after. The
Pretty
Hulk
sure it
was before. It was Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk.
I'm going to look up the release date of Iron Man.
I'm pretty sure it's 2008 because it's 10 years. Because in the Marvel logo we've got this year for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and for Infinity War and everything, it's got the 10 in the studios.
But
So-
I disagree.
Doesn't surprise me.
So I went,
2nd of May 2008.
There we go. That's
Initial
Iron
DVD
Man.
release was the 30th of September in the US, and it had a $140 million budget.
What about
Wow.
what's it called? The Incredible Hulk.
The
No?
Incredible Hulk, the first. Hang on, let me say. It says it was. It seems to have given me less information for
That's,
some reason.
um,
But release date was the 13th of June, 2008, and that was in the UK.
I
So
forgot what the Iron Man date was.
the Iron Man was the 2nd of May. So the Hulk was
bit after.
the month after.
Oh, right, my bad. So it's Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2.
Yes, Iron Man 2 came out in 2010. Iron Man 3, 2013.
We saw that with Harrison at the cinema in the capital. Jack. Yeah. But we're talking about Iron Man today. So, first of all, we'll go through experiences with Iron Man. Jamie.
Experience. When have you experienced Iron Man?
Define experience.
So the first, like if you remember the first time you seen it, stuff like that. You know, what you remember about it.
I think if I had to I can't really describe the first time seeing it. I mean, obviously it was quite a while ago now.
Yes.
But it remains one of my favourite films because I find some action films have dull moments in it
Mm-hmm.
where you're either just not really interested or you're just waiting for it to get back into the flow of things. Whereas I feel Iron Man had a good flow. It sort of put you straight in the action. Then it had a bit of a flashback as to how those events occurred.
Yep.
Then it builds up to him building the first Iron Man suit,
Mm-hmm.
him escaping, then developing it. And I won't say too much more story, even though supposedly it doesn't matter that there's going to be spoilers. But I just felt the overall film, there wasn't a dull moment in it, and it just flowed very nicely, and it really helped show where Iron Man came from and why he built the suit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of my favourite Marvel films / favourite films.
Cool. Jack.
Talk about just thinking. I remember seeing the what's called back of my parents' car with like a rubbish little portable DVD player, and I had like Iron Man 2, and I was like half asleep watching it. I don't remember the thing, but it's like, wait, are we talking about Iron Man 2 as well?
No, the first one.
Oh, I can't remember.
Just the first one.
Just the first
I'm going
one.
to share the story because it
Very
horrified
well.
me as a child. But there's a scene where like they're in a courtroom. Do you remember this? And they're like
Yeah.
talking about taking everything, and like the evil tech guy comes in and is like, "Oh yeah, it's bad," and then he shows, turns out just hacks into the computer and shows everyone the thing. And I remember being like half asleep and watching, and I wasn't paying attention. And suddenly it was just like this guy in the
Oh.
suit getting turned.
Yeah.
That actually really like horrified
All
me.
the-
Where I was like, "What the?" Fuck?
All the attempts to
It's like that
recreate
pilot
the suit.
survived, but
Yeah, he's fine, by the way.
Yeah, but I just remember like, that's actually pretty grim.
yeah, you're right.
Watching it again. Yeah.
Diverging off topic a little bit, I think that's quite similar to how the Spartan program in Halo was. I think there was
Yes.
incidents where soldiers had broken arms because the suit locked up and it just completely dislocated their arm.
Sounds delightful.
So if in the future we either do get mech suits or power suits, then I do feel sorry for the test subjects.
Yeah, test pilot's gonna get. And oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver, what about you?
Yes.
What was your experience with Iron Man?
So, I didn't really know much about the MCU back in 2008 at all. I had probably heard of Marvel, I'm pretty sure, but not particularly much. And it was one day in year 5 or year 6, I think it's year 5, and we had some people who did like sports with us for like our PE once a month or everything, or it might be once every other week, I can't remember. But it was raining outside, and it just wasn't great weather. I'm like, oh, well, we can either do this thing or watch Iron Man. And Jamie just tried to get a sausage roll and ended up with 3.
That's not my intention.
But yeah, and
Have
everyone was
the
like, oh
receipt
yeah,
and
let's watch
return
Iron
it.
Man. I thought it was Iron Man, like the Iron Giant, which is a great film, but is not the same film. And so, because obviously we did like 50 minutes, so the only 50 minutes of Iron Man we saw were pretty much up to the point where he's showing off the military missile stuff to the military, and then the whole thing goes wrong and everything explodes and people get shot, and it's just a bit brutal and, for like a 9-year-old, quite terrifying. And so I don't think I watched much from the MCU for a while because I was just like, I don't want to see that again. So I didn't actually get to see Iron Man until I watched it, I think, quite a few years later. I think I saw Iron Man 2 before I saw Iron Man, actually, in the end. So,
Disappointing.
yeah. But watching it now, I really like it. I agree with most of what Jamie said. It was definitely a good starting point. Especially with a character like Iron Man, who wasn't a particularly famous character from the MCU.
What?
No, he was like Iron Man compared to like Spider-Man. Spider-Man was probably a
I'd say
bigger.
Spider-Man 4? Oh, definitely Captain America, I'd say.
If you're comparing the MCU, I mean,
Before the MCU, Iron Man was not.
in Marvel, he was one of the top ones.
Yeah, but people didn't particularly know him. I mean, that's
See.
partially because if you.
He's like, it's like, say, I don't get it. As I remember, it's like saying they didn't know Captain America. I don't know, it's a bit, you throw me off, Ollie.
I mean, before Iron Man came out, though.
I mean, are you talking about like movie-wise, as in people
No,
not knowing
like,
anything about Marvel?
Just like before 2008, before the MCU got started. If you'd ask people on the street to name a superhero,
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's Spider-Man and what's it called, anyone that actually had a movie out about them,
yeah,
Fantastic Four
And,
and stuff. But
yeah,
I get what
Spider-Man,
you mean now, but
Well, Iron Man in the comics, I mean, I don't know a lot about the comics, but as a design, he wasn't developed a lot. Like, compared to the details of Captain America or Thor, Iron Man was just kind of a very bulky-looking red and yellow suit.
yeah.
Whereas in the films, they sort of actually made it a form-fitting suit and gave it lots of different. I don't know much about the comics, so I
Yeah.
could be completely wrong.
We should point out we are not comic book nerds very much at all. So the stuff that we might say, and if you do read the comics and you're like, well, they're completely wrong, then we're sorry, but that's not our forte as much as the films. So yeah. But yeah, I'd agree. And like obviously, if you said to someone now name a superhero, I'd say the likelihood of them saying Iron Man is a lot more likely.
definitely.
But I think that's just kind of like superheroes didn't used to be cool. They used to be a nerdy geeky thing that
They stole our
It's-
culture.
that most people weren't interested in, but the MCU has definitely changed that.
Yeah, because you don't have to be a fan of superheroes and all the lore and culture of it to enjoy the films.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people just like watching the movies.
Yeah. This is exactly true. So, yeah. What is your favourite part from the film?
God.
That is the next question.
When the terrorists are winning, I mean, no. I don't know. I'm gonna go with. Oh, that's a hard question, actually. Now I think about.
Well, actually, I was trying to plug it over to you first. So whilst I had
super
a thought, but I actually know what I want to say.
Okay.
My favourite part from the film is probably. You might want to pause. Editing for Oliver to do.
And we're back. So the brief tape measure break, whatever that is. But
Whatever you call that distraction.
yeah,
Um.
carry on, Jamie.
Yeah. So the scene that I remember the most was probably the scene where, like, or the sequence where he's building the Mark 1 suit and he's just escaping from the prison in the mountainside, and
Yeah.
it was a very minimalistic suit. It did what it needed to do. It protected him from bullets. It had
Yeah.
it had a flamethrower in it. It had, but I had like it was so. I mean, I do apologise. I'm terrible with my English wording. But the bits where the missiles, he he didn't have a button or a voice activated missile. They weren't heat seeking. They were just like little basic missiles or like fireworks, which he lit using the flames from the flamethrower on his other arm, and then he just aimed and hoped it would hit something.
Yeah.
Or the bit when he blows up all the tech and then flies away, and it just breaks on him, and it just falls back to the earth and it falls to pieces, because it just shows that it was just a Mark 1 prototype suit. It wasn't designed to do what the other well-developed suits do. It was designed for a purpose of getting him out. But I just remember that scene. It was just a very good sequence of the film, sort of fixing the before Tony Stark and the after.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to say what my favourite scene is. The Mark II thing testing. Just everything, you know.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Like, firing thrusters at 5% and just go shooting into the scene. Or the, what was the name? Not Jarvis. What's the name of the other
Dummy.
robot? Just has just the hand.
Yeah,
Oh, just the hand,
dummy
yeah.
with
The fire extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher.
Just
Or the bit where he's like doing something and he just aims at Amy, and just goes, and it's like,
Yeah. There's like a news clipping or something from like, it might be Iron Man 2 actually, but it shows him as like a teenager inventing,
yeah.
and the crane robot's in that, and so that's probably why it's a bit stupid, because he invented it when he was like quite a bit younger. So
because I don't want to. Are we allowed to talk about the other Iron Man films without it being
a bit, yeah. No, they're all 5 or more years old now, so.
Okay. Because it's really sad. I think it was the most recent one when his home gets attacked and he's going through all the rubble.
Yeah, that's an Iron Man 3.
And then there's the crane arm just sort of like lying there, like last breath, and then it just dies.
Isn't its name Dummy?
It might be, or he calls it Dummy. I can't exactly remember. But
I'm pretty sure his name was Dummy. I don't remember.
my favourite part is probably the bit when he flies back to I think it's in Afghanistan.
yeah.
And
And,
beats up terrorists.
Like blows up the tank and yeah.
He
Disarms the terrorists.
he gets sniped out the air by a tank, and then just avoids the second one, shoots this tiny little missile, and just walks away.
Just walks off. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. Obviously also seeing Coulson and then Nick Fury at the very end with the very first end credit scene. It's, pretty exciting. But
We go
at the
on
time,
to Avengers
exactly.
and Agents of Shield
Mm-hmm.
after the first Avengers,
Yes, exactly.
which is currently one of the only TV series I actually watch.
So, it is now time for our trivia quiz. This is the point we're going to have every time we do a film or game. We have a competition. We're going to see how many points each person gets and who wins each week. So, or actually, we might just count up the number of points people get and carry over the points
Did
each
you
week.
actually count last week's?
Last week isn't counting.
Okay.
We're going to start from this week.
Okay.
So, the first question is, who is the actor who plays Iron Man?
Oh, god damn it.
Hugh No, that's Wolverine.
I forgot his name.
I'm so fine.
Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, I'm going to give Jack the point for that one.
Yeah.
Because James said Hugh Jack.
Also, I just got the answer right. What do you mean?
And then that.
What do you mean?
It's just the first name that came to my mind, and I knew
Hugh
instantly.
Jack.
Like, I was like, oh, I know he's in a Marvel film. Wait, no, that's the wrong guy.
They are both, like, I can imagine another person playing Wolverine or another person playing Iron Man. They're definitely both they embody their characters very well.
I'm not even going to try and defend my answer. That was just me thinking of the first name that came to my mind because I just didn't know.
It reminds me of that, there's that, try not to laugh clip where it's like, name an orange fruit, lemon. Or something like that, and it's really silly.
There was a thing where there was there was a question. It was like, what's an anagram? What flying striped insect is an anagram of the word swap? Which obviously,
Wasp.
yeah, and they said bees.
It's like, oh dear. Question 2. What type of technology keeps the shrapnel from entering Tony's
The
heart?
arc reactor.
Correct. It's 1-1. How does Tony escape from the desert?
Using the
Using
Mark
the Mark
1
1.
suit that he built from a disassembled missile.
And then...
Oh, Heli, comes pick him up, ready.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, come on! I hate the questions that they have to listen to the whole question.
Because he doesn't actually escape the
No.
desert with the Mark
No,
1.
that's- You're evil.
Pepper Forks is Tony's assistant. True or false?
True.
False.
Pepper Potts is Tony Stark's assistant.
Wait, who did you
Not
say?
Pepper Forks.
Oh, God!
Gonna be
I was
honest,
going to hit
I
something.
said it false for a different reason, but I'm
Why
glad
why
I
did you say
I
false?
thought like she was sexual. I thought it was like a different thing.
Later. Not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. And I was like, wait a second, this is a trick question.
So... Jack is on 3. Jamie's on 1.
Yes, I know, I can count.
What is the name of Tony's computerized help system?
Jarvis.
I'll give you both one for that.
Yeah, that was true.
That's 4-2. And Jarvis is originally like Alfred. He was an
Yeah.
actual butler.
He was like the guy that raised him and stuff.
Yes.
yeah.
But then
Well,
he
died.
died or something, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people do.
Where had the metal used on the newest Iron Man suit, the red and gold, been used before?
In a missile. Wait, no, in his car. Wait,
He's just doing finger guns. It's just...
in his car? Wait, what the hell?
We're going to wait for Jamie to give an answer now.
Space shuttle.
Stop answering. We'll give Jamie an answer.
Hey, I'm about to guess.
Oh my god, I can't.
Wait, the metal in his new suit.
Yeah, so it's in the Mark II.
Ah, okay.
I'm just trying to remember the scene back.
No. I don't remember.
I can't, like,
Throw a guess. Throw a guess at them. Nuclear reactor.
an armoured car. I don't
Okay. Some of your answers were both close. It's from a satellite.
Ah,
Oh,
It was
satellite.
gold titanium metal from Satellite 10.
Oh, I
No
thought-
more information is
'cause
given
I
about
thought they
Satellite
were-
10, but
satellite.
I thought they were.
No
I
idea.
thought it was just painted gold. I thought it was because it started off at silver.
No, it's like titanium something.
it's gold titanium, and then he adds the
Red and
the
gold.
hot rod paint
the hot
job.
rod
yeah.
red, yeah. But no, it is actual gold. So yeah, that's the Mark
Okay.
III, isn't actually not the Mark II. But so no one got a point from that. So still on 4-2. Where does Tony hide the air? Where does Tony hide when the Air Force fighter jets are looking to
On the back
target
of the
him?
plane. On the back of the plane. Or you know,
On the belly of the plane.
Jamie got it. It's the belly of the plane.
You know
I
what he-
meant that.
Yeah, but you didn't say
You
that.
said it wrong.
That is unfair. I
Yeah,
feel I've been
now you know how
cheated.
I feel.
You're still ahead. It's 4-3.
I give up. No.
This is rigged, so.
This is quite a tricky one now.
Oh.
What does Pepper buy with Tony's money for her birthday?
Strawberries. Painting. I don't
What does
remember.
she buy for her?
Oh, a new
birthday?
dress.
Yes,
I
it's a
got
new
it.
dress.
Strawberries is on the second one, and that's
Yes.
No, he
Correct.
buys her
He buys her
strawberries,
strawberries,
and she
which
hates
she
strawberries.
can't have.
And-
She's allergic to. It's the only
and
thing.
then he sells the painting. Never mind.
Yeah, Tony forgets Pepper's birthday, so she takes the liberty of spending his money for him.
Yeah.
It's the first time that he like notices how pretty she is and asks her to dance.
Yeah.
For the cover story, who is said to be in the Iron Man
A bodyguard.
suit? Yes.
I didn't even hear the question.
How did you not?
It was for the cover story, who is said to be in the Iron Man suit.
Right.
So Agent Phil Coulson from S.H.I.E.L.D. comes up with the
yeah.
cover story that a bodyguard was in the Iron Man suit when it malfunctioned.
Yeah.
He does this to protect Tony from the public, thinking it was him, which would understandably cause unwanted fuss, but Tony's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm... He's like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah." And finally,
So I can't win.
no, but it's gonna, the points are gonna add
Points
up over
carry
each
over.
time. So
Okay.
is it 6-5-3?
So you don't even know.
I forgot. I was right.
I
Right,
won the last two.
I can figure it out.
And I was on it 4-3, so it's 6-3, isn't it? Isn't it?
I don't even remember what I got for the interception.
3-1,
God.
4-2,
It's either
4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3.
yeah.
6-3,
yeah,
you're
okay.
correct. Final question. Which actor portrays Colonel James Rhodes in Iron Man?
No, I don't know, Rhodey. No.
I'm
Did the
so
actor
bad with
switch?
actors.
You're
actor
correct, the actor
switched.
changed.
Oh. I don't know.
I don't actually know the actor names.
I was.
of
It
films.
was hard to guess Robert Downey Jr. How are we gonna?
So the actor who plays James Rhodes in Iron Man is Terrence Howard.
Oh, I wouldn't have gotten that.
And I believe it's Dom Cheadle in Iron Man
I
2
don't know.
and
I
3.
don't remember actor names.
So that was 6-3
So, and,
at the end of this round. Tom is on 0, so you know there's that. Just realised I've got to write this down.
go on.
Is there actually a prize for winning?
Yes.
What is the prize?
Don't know yet.
Has to come up with one.
We'll have to come up with one.
Better be worthwhile.
But yes,
No, you have it. No.
they're trying to persuade people to eat.
I've already had. No, don't throw it at me.
But yes,
this is also most of our lunch times.
Yeah.
Not mine. I'm
I've had some food, but yeah.
still eating.
So if you had to give Iron Man, this is the final thing. If you had to give Iron Man a rating out of 10 for how much you personally enjoy it, not how good you think it as a film, but how much you enjoy it, what would you give it?
8.
I'm generally going to say 10 because it is just a film I could just watch it again and not be like, "Oh, that makes no sense," or "That's a stupid bit."
Mm-hmm.
I just generally enjoyed the whole film.
Okay, I'd probably say 8 as well, to be fair. So okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's like the greatest film I've seen, but yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, we go.
We're now going to do some lightning bot round questions. So the premise here is that if any of us have any idea for a question, basically to do with the general topic of Iron Man,
Including the sequels?
no, just the first one, because we're going to do the sequels another time. You can ask it and everyone else has to give an answer. Just, we can't explain your answer, you just got to give it as it is. So, example question. If you were Iron Man, or if you were Tony Stark, would you tell everyone that you were Iron Man, or would you keep it a secret?
And your answer would just be yes or no.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can't explain why that's your answer, you just need to say yes or no.
Okay. So it's just yes or no answers.
It depends on the
Or it depends
situation.
on the question. Okay.
But you can't explain why that's your answer, it's just...
okay.
Is it if you were Iron Man?
Yeah, so if you were Iron Man,
Would you tell everyone? or
would you tell
keep
everyone
it a
you're Iron
secret?
Man? or
Would you
keep
also
it
be
secret?
Tony Stark?
Yes.
So yeah, you have the money to cover it up. Yeah, why not?
Or you just have to be a genuine, honest person and not.
Yeah, I said yeah. What's your answer?
Jamie?
You wait for me to answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought this was just a demo question.
Oh,
Well, you said
now-
to answer
now
it.
you have got a
Okay.
demo answer.
Yes, I would hide it.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah, I would hide it.
I
Wow.
forgot the question.
No, it's no. Yeah, would
So
you
no,
reveal
you'd
yourself?
hide it, but it doesn't matter. We
Oh.
get. So you said, yeah, okay,
Okay.
got it.
I think.
I'd probably,
Stop buffering.
I would probably say that I was. I
It's
guess.
easier.
Yeah, I think. But again, guys, the table I put between you for this purpose is still right there.
It's also covered in.
I forgot about
It's
that.
like covered in alcohol.
Oh dear. Okay. Do either of you have a question? Can be anything.
I've got good quiz questions. Not really the same.
About Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, go for it.
What's the terrorist group that kidnaps him?
The 10 Rings.
Yeah. Okay. What about what's the name of the guy in control of Stark thing?
Obadiah something.
Stain.
Okay.
Yeah. You're very bad at these questions. What about?
But by the time I've processed them, someone else has already answered them.
That's the point of a quiz. Okay.
I don't do quizzes.
And that's why you'll never be on the pro quiz team. No.
Well, no, I have better things to do. Actually, that's a lie. I really don't have a life.
That's why we're sitting here doing the podcast.
That's like weird.
Ah, well.
Questions. Trying to think of an actual. Because there's either the actual question which you have to know the answer. Like I've got questions, but I
Right.
don't actually know the answers to them.
Oh no, that's
Okay,
fine.
why
Try
not?
those.
What was the name of the man who made they come back to me.
Do you mean the guy that made like?
He made like the big suit that was meant to oppose.
Who helped?
Stark.
Obadiah
Oh,
Stane.
that's Obadiah Stane.
That
Yeah,
was that is
that's
him.
that's the Ironmonger suit.
Ironmonger.
They should have called it Iron Monk, and then it could have been an RPG class. What was the assistant's name? Was it Pepper?
Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts. What did Pepper Potts give Tony Stark for his birthday?
His old reactor.
Yes,
In a case, isn't it?
in a case to
To
And
prove
he-
he has a heart.
And
prove
then
he has a
plugs
heart.
it in because gets.
Oh yeah, his other one gets pulled out, so he gets the old one back, and it's pretty cool.
And
Yeah, that's
dummy
so strong.
passes it to him.
Yes, good old dummy. Another line bolt question. If you still had the gold titanium alloy or whatever it was, what colour would you put with it if you couldn't put the red with it?
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Purple, just because I like the colour purple.
I feel. I know this
Thanos'
is
good side.
That puts a smile on my face.
I said nothing wrong.
No,
No,
we're getting
no,
into
no.
that.
I know it's a very, I say, controversial colour. It's not really, but it's the sort of thing. Oh, everyone would say that, but it's sort of black with like a secondary colour, because black's just a very good-looking neutral colour.
It's
Or
also the colour of like what's it called, War Machine, isn't it?
Black
sort
and
of.
silver, yeah.
Yeah, sort
I
of
do
like
like
a
that.
dark grey.
What do you mean by a controversial colour?
Well, no, because everyone's like, like
Well,
when
Technically not a colour, but
What do you mean not a colour?
well, black's
Dark black.
technically the absence of colour, but
Okay, what colour is this?
it's black, but it's technically not a colour.
But no, but when I say
No, I know what you
controversial,
mean.
because a lot of things is like, oh yeah, your character's just wearing black. It's like but I generally
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
I never used to use the color, but I've been using it a lot more recently. It just goes with anything. Same with
Yeah.
white; they're very neutral colors.
Mhm.
Same, you could have
Mm.
white with a secondary color. Or
Yeah, exactly.
thinking of colors, I guess you could go with like a tan, or like how's it pronounced? Like
Khaki.
khaki
Khaki.
That
Yeah,
was-
yeah.
with
that
like
could be
a
rude word
dark
if you changed.
Jack.
with a dark brown. Sort of go for like a desert camouflage.
Yeah, sure. Mhm.
because I like those colors as
Yeah.
well.
I was thinking maybe a cyan.
Red and cyan.
Well, no, not red and cyan.
Yes,
Cyan.
red and cyan.
The gold and the cyan instead of the
Red and
red and the
cyan.
gold. So, but, I mean, red and cyan would maybe look alright. I don't know. Some people would certainly think the red and the cyan would look fine.
Some say he has the hand of a god.
Any other questions? I have another general question. What is the name of the man who helps Tony build the Mark One?
Yasin or something?
Oh, I have
Very
no...
close.
Isn't he Russian?
Ukrainian. Well,
Ukrainian.
who knows where?
I
don't know why I said Ukrainian.
I don't know.
He's
his
in. He's
name.
in. Is Yinsen? So you're very close. He's in Iron Man 3 at the start because he's like another businessman, something, and he gets kidnapped as well. And he's a good character.
What do you mean? Is
Yeah, he teaches Stark a lot about being just a human.
Yeah, he's the reason that because he does a Han Solo, but it doesn't work as well because he gets shot. But he buys Stark the time to get the Mark One sorted and whatnot.
Because
and-
it wasn't it
charges him with an AK, runs out.
because wasn't it charging just the battery, or was it uploading all of the
It's
data?
uploading the software or something.
Yeah, or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly, but and he says,
There's not
"Don't
enough
waste,
time.
don't waste your life or whatever it is." And that's why he's then like, "Yep, we're gonna stop making weapons," and that's why Obadiah's like, "What?" We're
Because he
warmongers."
starts making weapons, and then all the military people were like, well, no, but we want weapons.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's like, "No," because he listens. So.
But the Jericho.
Yeah, so that's Yinsen. He's a cool character for as little as he's in to sing.
Hmm.
Any other
What's-
questions?
I just had a very good brain thing. What is Jericho? As in the myth? Isn't it a myth?
No, Jericho was the missile
it's a
that
missile,
Tony
but
Stark
isn't it
developed.
isn't it a myth?
Jericho is a city?
Yeah,
Is that the
sounds very
Bible
familiar.
story? Jericho, the
Something
one
of
with
Jericho.
the... Is that the... I should know this. Is that the one with the... Is Jericho the place where they march around it with the walls, and the walls come down, and they like blow the trumpets and
That
stuff?
would make sense for the missile.
It
name.
would.
I was thinking what we could do is do. No, never mind. I'll
What?
talk to you. Something on myths and stuff.
That would certainly be interesting.
'Cause
Myths are cool.
I do like myths.
I like myths as well.
God.
Right,
But
let's
no, never
search
mind.
up
That's good.
Jericho real quick just to see.
As well. What else do we have to talk about?
Any other questions?
No.
No.
Okay, so
I just realised that if I said myths and it turns out to be a Christian thing, it's controversial.
that's fine. It's fine. Yes, so Battle of Jericho and the narrative of the conquest of Canaan in the book of Joshua. The Battle of Jericho is the first battle that is described. The walls of Jericho fell after Joshua's Israelite army marched around the city blowing their trumpets.
Israelite?
Yes, the Israelites.
Is that Malibu, Coke, and Sprite?
Don't question it. Okay.
But yeah, so Jericho missiles knock walls down. I guess this makes sense,
Was it? It was a large missile full of multiple little missiles,
basically.
but couldn't tackle wide.
Hellfire. God, Call of Duty. No.
That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it, and it's worked pretty well so far. So Liney says. Right, well, I think this concludes the first episode of Cabincast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cabincast. For more episodes, go to www.cabincast.podbean.com. You can also find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/cabincast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
I'd like to stop and be carried on.
2 shots of
I mean, this is like going to be 90% Malibu, 10% Sprite.
Anyway, moving on. We're gonna have a pause here.